alcohol after school drop-off, bottles of vodka delivered. I would swear blind it was just the sparkling water. Cirrhosis of the liver. My pancreas wouldn't work anymore. They said, you're dying. Couldn't stop drinking. Just fucking help me, please. I can't do it. But just don't wake me up and bring myself to kill myself. But at that moment, I didn't want to live in that pain. They said, you need to leave it. Had he done that, I might not be here today.
Today, I'm so pleased to have Michelle Heaton on. Come on.
Thanks,
I'm so
Matt.
fucking pleased. I've wanted you on for a while. I've kind of looked at you from afar in admiration. So I'm really, really pleased to have
that's
you
very
on.
nice of you.
Thank you so
you.
much. I mean, you will know Michelle from Liberty X, which is one of the biggest bands of the noughties, right? So like it was and you were just before Busted, right?
Yeah, just before.
So when did you come out?
We came out in 2001.
Right, okay.
And then got signed up by Richard Branson, V2 Records.
Right, come on.
It was literally fairy tale moment.
Yeah.
Like literally went down to London, had a couple of meetings and didn't go back home to Newcastle and just moved.
Really? Wow.
And just moved down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, insane times. It was fun.
Yeah.
I pity the people who are around these days and coming out through because they'll never experience what we got to experience.
Yeah.
With the CDUKs, the Top of the Pops, the road shows, Smash Hits tour.
Even the Smash Hits tour.
Oh my
Such
God.
a riot, you know.
Yeah, and innocently fun. Like we weren't chaotic nightmares back then.
It was kind of I don't know. I probably
Maybe
was.
you
I probably was. It was really weird for us, like, but to be honest, because like we were nobody, and then suddenly, I remember vividly on the Smash Hits tour, right? We kind of turned up there. We'd had a single out, things were kind of happening, but we'd not really ever felt like we were doing anything. And we had this dressing room, and I walked out. And Atomic Kitten walked past my dressing room. I was like, fuck, we're famous.
Yeah.
You know, like we're in this kind of world where pop stars are just walking around. It was such a fucking weird moment for us.
Totally agree. That's exactly how we felt as well.
Yeah.
I think Jerry Halliwell was on that tour.
I feel like we've lived very similar lives in a way. Like it's really
I think
kind of
so.
that's why I've been looking forward to having you on, because I'm sure I'm going to resonate with so much you got to say, right?
Yeah, same.
So take me back to before any of this, right? So before Pop Stars, which obviously changed your life dramatically, right? But for before that, what was it like? What was your life like?
I was brought up on a council estate in Gateshead, had very little money, just me and my brother. Mum and dad were working, and yeah, we just didn't have money, but I didn't know any different, right?
Yeah.
You know, like my friends were in similar situations and we just met around the parks. There was no holidays. My holiday revolved around the Sun newspaper when they give £1 of holidays.
We collected those vouchers too.
In like Warner's or Haven Holiday, you know, that kind of thing. We just did caravan holidays. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And that was my life. I do remember always singing. We didn't have money to send me to drama school or anything like that, but I was always singing. I always was in a bubble. People in recovery often say that they felt different, and I very much felt different. But for me, it wasn't like, and then alcohol changed my life. Like that happened later.
Yeah.
For me, I felt different because I felt like there was something else going to happen for me and I couldn't put my finger on it. So I would just wish myself and dream about these pop videos.
Yeah.
I remember watching Making Your Mind Up, Bucks Fizz and Shakin' Stevens and all those artists and just imagining that I was his wife or I was in Bucks Fizz. And so I had this very imaginative upbringing in my head. I didn't really have that many friends. I just lived in my head.
Did you kind of expect something to happen?
I think that if I'm being honest, and that's not believing that you're amazing, because by no stretch of imagination, on talent alone should I be here? Absolutely not. There's so many more talented people out there than
exactly
me.
what you mean.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm literally kidding myself and other people.
Yeah.
However, I felt like that was going to be my life, and articulating that was difficult, or understanding what I meant, but I felt it.
Yeah. Felt like you were destined for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like, I mean, not for in my wildest dreams did I think it would ever happen in some way, but like I always kind of like dreamt about it.
Yeah,
and like thought, I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
that was how I felt.
It could have been fucking hairdresser of the year.
Whatever
that was, right? I don't care. Like I was just like, I will do something to get me out of this. And
That's
I always
exactly
felt that way. So then, obviously, how old were you when you went into Pop Stars?
21.
So was this Pop Stars or what was the? What
It
was
was
the show
Pop
called?
Stars, the first ever
Right,
one.
the first ever one.
The one with Nasty Nigel.
Yeah.
And Nikki and I can't remember. Paul was the other judge, and
Yeah.
it was one that Darius first appeared in.
Right,
So when
yeah.
he did the "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time," and obviously Hearsay won.
Yeah.
You know, looking back to that time, it was so hard for both bands in different ways. You know, for Hearsay, they got launched as the winners and they had everything thrown at them. But they then had their own battles in different ways that we did. Like we had to prove ourselves a little bit more because we were seen as the underdogs, but they had a lot to prove because they were the winners.
Yeah.
And I think that's only, with age, when you look back at actually, you know, we were literally just 10 kids running around, not knowing what to do and other people making the decisions for us. We were just 5 kids who decided to be a band and we got signed.
Man, amazing.
It was just like that. Honestly, just a dream. Like nothing you could ever imagine happened. It doesn't happen like that, especially these days.
Yeah.
Before you even get seen by a record label, you have to have so many million followers already on TikTok or YouTube.
I read quite a lot about you, about the way you kind of felt about yourself and the way you looked, right? And that really played a massive part in your life, which was so horrible to read about. You know, like people don't really understand what that feels like, especially for a woman. I think it was a time as well. There was a time in the industry where it was actually completely okay to ridicule the way people looked, right? Especially those magazines that you'd read and like they'd just be horrible about people.
Yeah.
I mean, so you were going through all this at the time, right? When did that first start to kind of affect you?
Oh, it's been all throughout my career, I think.
Yeah.
You know, before I got in the band, I had already been battling food addictions and diet pills. That was like
before Pop Stars.
Before Pop Stars.
And how old were you then?
All throughout my teenager life, I was constantly on diets, overeating, binge eating, trying to be sick, couldn't be sick. You know, whatever I could do to change the way I felt about myself and my image. When I got in the band, I was quite skinny at that point. And then a couple of years into the band, when it was becoming really successful with Just a Little, I had put on a lot of weight. You know what it's like on the road, you stop off at garages and you get McDonald's and the other 2 girls were eating that. So I ate it, except I don't have the same metabolism as these 2 very tall, slim ladies. And I got bigger. It was very much drawn to public attention that I was bigger than the other 2 girls by the press. Yeah. And because I also like to go out and party and have fun and date men that I had admired before becoming famous and they wanted to date me, I had like the best time, but I just didn't think that would be of scrutiny. And it was. Like you say, everything that we did, every time I got out of a cab, there was another guy trying to take a picture of my skirt.
Yeah.
There was
I
one
remember
woman.
that being a big thing, right?
Massive. And they were allowed.
Yeah.
Had I defended myself back then, I would have been the one that was arrested.
Yeah.
Not the person trying to inappropriately take a picture.
You. It's fucking outrageous.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Like Sneak magazine, all those, you know, remember all those magazines back then? It was like Who Snogged Who Dressed Awful. Like they'd have pages dedicated because I'm sure you could still get tagged them today by fans who've got all those old magazines of who wore it worse and just completely derogatory.
For some of us, right, it's like we have these feelings going on, but then no one else knows they're going on, right? Or it's like they'd be shocked to hear that that's going on. But this is like everything you're thinking, right? Then they're saying it.
Yes.
It must have been just like so hard.
Yeah, so they're validating.
They're validating
exactly
your worst feelings
how
about
I
yourself.
feel about myself.
Oh man.
And then going through that and being so, I suppose, famous at the time, I then eat more.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
It's like with drinking drugs, like towards the end, you know, no matter who was saying it, you know, no matter how much I wanted to stop, and realised you couldn't, you then use it or drink more. And that was the same with food for me.
What about drinking? Because I was known for being a party boy in those days, and you were known for being a party girl. We never really crossed paths in those days, which I find so bizarre.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Because I was always out.
Yeah,
you know, and I was like, the one person I never really bumped into was you.
I know, that is crazy.
It's so weird. We would have been a fucking nightmare.
I know, we would have been
We would have been a nightmare. Thank
Because
God we
I
did.
used to just go out by myself.
Yeah.
Like
Me too.
if I got back from doing some work and I was
Yeah.
up the next morning for CDUK and I got a call from, I don't know, Dane Bowers or one of the Sin Slate crew.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, straight out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's mad.
I mean, that's the amount of CDUKs I turned up to without any sleep.
Yeah. That was a given.
90% of them.
Yeah.
You know.
And they had the bar.
Yeah.
The bar was open when you got to CDK.
Yeah.
It's terrible,
Absolutely
actually, isn't
terrible.
it?
But for me, like when I think about like being in that kind of environment, right, and stuff you talked about having this kind of like feeling in you, right, I had all that stuff going on, right, and the one thing that would kind of silence it was booze.
Yeah.
Right. So until I discovered cocaine, which did it also in a very different way, but booze was like, I'd feel a little bit anxious, feel a bit weird, feel a bit insecure, feel like I didn't belong, and I'd have a couple of drinks and I'd be a little bit more confident, right?
Yeah.
And especially around music, like because I had all these insecurities going on, and we'd have to perform after, like, if I'm honest, bands like You and stuff, and these kind of like things would go on, and we'd be next, and I'd be like feel like three fucking weirdos that were going on in this kind of pop industry, which we didn't feel like we belonged in. We were like, oh God, what is this? And we'd have all this stuff. I'd have a couple of drinks, it would all go away.
Yeah.
Right. So I would drink before I go on stage. Were you at that point?
Yeah, absolutely relate to that. And the way you described about yourself and your insecurities about following other bands, like that's how I felt.
Yeah.
I know some of the rest of Liberty X felt like that, but like it's imposter syndrome, isn't it?
Yeah.
I still feel that today. Like someone's just going to knock you on the shoulder and go, it's all been a joke, you need to go home now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'd be like, okay, then I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
And so alcohol definitely diminished that feeling. I don't think I had ever, obviously, except for the last 5 years, I don't think I've ever done a gig without having to drink first. And that includes most TV performances, especially the early CDUKs and stuff like that, and Top of the Pops, because I felt that insecurity. And also I was very well aware early on in the band that I wasn't the best singer.
Yeah.
I already had that insecurity anyway throughout my life, and couldn't quite believe that I got as far as I did. And when we started to record music, it was evident they found their formula, as they do with these bands, especially just singing bands, on Just a Little, you know, Jess, Kelly, Kevin, and then whatever's left scraps, me and Tony, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so I very much was told that without them saying it. And so I just felt insignificant.
Yeah.
And then the cameras were never on me and Tony. It was always on the others. And I was like, okay, even being Sean, I'm like a backup singer. And so I kind of thought, well, if I'm not going to be recognised for talented attributions, I thought part of me would be like, well, fuck it, then I'm just going to have the best time.
Yeah.
And drink and go out and party and snog boys and, you know, do whatever it is that I suppose the Jerry Halliwells of this world did back then, you know, because what else am I useful for? And that was also met with disdain, I think, from the group at some point, because I was getting a bad rep. And I didn't like that. So then it kind of pushed me further into partying.
A subject of conversation within the band, your behaviour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mine too. Mine too, many, many times.
Yeah.
And I relate so much to you because I always felt that as a musician, like James and Charlie were much better players than me. I was quite a terrible player when we first started. And I had to, but I'd work my arse off at it. And I'd still be average. You know, and I'd be like, I'm trying so hard, you know. Then I just think, fuck it, you know, and I feel weird and insecure. But then I found, I don't know, I honestly felt like the one thing people liked about me was I was wild.
That's how I took it.
One thing that people liked about it and almost encouraged was that I was the rock and roll one. I was the wild child. I was kind of like, so in some ways I felt like I had permission to do it because it was like, it was benefiting the overall brand in some way. Like it was okay.
Yes.
And when I, like those magazines that you talked about would all like that about me, you know, like, so it fed into me that was the right thing to do.
Completely relate. 100%. It fed into my ego.
Yeah.
You know,
I was the real one.
Yeah, exactly. I remember having this conversation with Sarah Hardin back in the day, and we felt quite similar in that respect. And well, it was like, well, you know, somebody has to be that person, and why not us? And we're having fun, and we were like, I had the best time.
Yeah.
I don't want to knock it. I don't really regret anything. I lived a life as a pop star. It was so much fun, and I was doing stuff like, as in, I wasn't doing drugs back then, but I was drinking and going out and snogging random boys, like I probably would if I was in Newcastle still, except it was all reported on and everybody knew about it, and that's the difference. So I think part of my naivety was like, oh God, I can't believe they've got that, but of course they have. I remember being on Pop World once with Simon and Makita, and it was the worst moment. They had all these boys that had snogged, and they made me rate them. And,
oh my God, man, yeah.
But you remember that show? That was carnage.
I remember that show, absolutely carnage, yeah. And we were on that show so much.
Yeah.
You know, and I was fucked on that show. Like, I've never seen a clip of it, thank God, but I mean, it was just the states I would have been on. Yeah.
What TV got away with back then.
Yeah.
It's so different now. And it's obviously like everyone's a bit more protected. And you wouldn't get away with anything these days anyway. Yeah, it was hard, wasn't it?
It was hard. It was different. But then we didn't know anything else. So we're kind of like, you know, it's just the way it was, you know. And but I think there's something about that kind of like, people wanted me to go to their nightclubs, you know. Like I was talking about earlier on. There was a guy who was going to come on the podcast, but isn't. I'm not going to say the names. But like, it was kind of a celebrity at the time. I don't really know the guy, right? But like, I'd go to a nightclub, and when I'd leave, he would leave with me, right? So I've got all these photos of me and this guy.
Oh, really?
That I don't fucking know, right? Because I would get papped as I was coming out.
Yeah, of course.
And he'd just be there next to me.
Yeah.
You know, be like, why is he in the back? You know, because there was a time when like people were so. There was this thing in the paper called Beer Mat. And in the Sun, and like Victoria Newton, I think.
Oh yeah, of
there was
course.
a section of the bizarre column every week, which was me and a different fucking state falling out of a nightclub. And he had a beer mat with a picture of me like that. You know?
Oh my gosh!
And it'd be a different thing.
Yeah,
right. Like people liked it.
Yes.
You know, so it was like either they liked watching me.
Publicly,
my public demise. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like, it was kind of okay.
But that's
so
it.
weird.
Like, it's validated because we're just being talked about. Because back then it was always, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
PRs loved that stuff.
I loved it too, right? I did love behaving like that. The reason I'm an alcoholic is not because I hate drink and drugs. It's because I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It gave me something which I didn't have, right? Until it didn't.
Yeah.
You know, but like there's, and like with that kind of stuff, I didn't mind it, you know, because it kind of like allowed me to behave the way I wanted to behave.
Yeah, sure.
And gave me some kind of like identity in some fucking weird way. And like, it was such a
I'm
messed up
not an
relationship
alcoholic or drug addict because of that.
Yeah.
Like, by no stretch of the imagination. I mean, obviously, when you look back, like, I can see that my addictive nature was there from the get-go with other things. My dependency on alcohol in particular didn't happen until after I had kids.
Yeah.
You know, like, there was no point in all of that carnage where I couldn't put it down. I could put it down.
Yeah.
It was later on in life.
So when did that change?
Yeah. I think for me, there was a significant shift for me because I had a hysterectomy and a double mastectomy, and I lost my identity. So overnight, I was, 10, 12 years younger than what most women are when they go into menopause, and I was full-blown menopause, and I was irritated. I didn't sleep properly. I was sweating.
This was a medical menopause, right?
Medical hysterectomy to eradicate the risk of ovarian cancer because I've got the BRCA2 cancer gene.
Right.
So I had these surgeries to...
These are big decisions,
yeah,
aren't they?
big decisions.
So like, how old are you at the time?
Now I'm...
At the time?
Oh, at the time. Hang on.
Never
I'm
ask a
46.
woman
I'm 46
age.
now. I'm almost 47, and it would have been 12 years ago with the hysterectomy.
Right. Okay, so it's a young woman
and
to be
14 years ago
position.
with the double mastectomy.
Right. So they're big decisions, right?
Massive, huge, and I am like most addicts or people in the industry. I just I'm going to get done and get done. Don't think about the consequences.
Yeah.
And whilst I knew the consequences, I fully hadn't anticipated what was then going to happen in my life. And I wasn't prepared. I mean, I don't know if I could have been even more prepared for it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I wasn't prepared for the ultimately, like not having any relationship with my friends anymore because I didn't know what to speak to them about. Because I was moaning and I was tired and I was erratic and I had all these hormonal issues and I felt old and I was crying all the time. And then the last thing your mates, or what I thought, wanted to hear was all of my crap.
Yeah. Whether you're a morning person or trying to become one, a good morning routine can make all the difference. I don't mean 10 steps of meditation, journaling, or cold plunging, but finding a few habits that properly set you up for the day. For me, that includes AG1. I drink 1 scoop with cold water every morning and I'm getting essential vitamins, minerals, live cultures, and whole food sourced nutrients. So I know I'm doing something good for my body first thing, and it actually tastes really, really good. After drinking it consistently, I feel way more energized, my focus is better, and so is my digestion, which I promise you makes a big, big difference day to day. I know I can really trust this stuff as it's consistently updated with the latest science and it's trusted by health experts worldwide. To try it yourself, head to drinkag1.com/onthemend and get a free vitamin D3 and K2 supplement, and plus 5 free travel packs. And for August only, listeners of On The Mend can get a free morning person baseball cap. Yes, I've actually worn mine on the golf course. It's rad. And if AG1 isn't right for you, they'll refund your first order in full within 30 days.
When I would drink or use drugs, I had more in common with them again. Because that would change the way I felt about myself.
Yeah.
And so it was a very much, okay, I now feel youthful again. Let's continue this. And so that was the journey to become an alcoholic
also,
from there.
It's numbing as well, right?
Yeah.
So you've got all these emotions going on, right? And you've found something that numbs the pain.
Yeah.
It's like we don't turn to things like this in a good place. We're doing it to escape from something,
Definitely.
right? And so you're finding a way of escape,
Yeah.
Which is also finding a way to connection.
Yeah.
So you're getting that which you're missing. So I
Exactly.
can understand why this is a perpetual cycle, right? It's like everything makes perfect sense when you look back at it. You know, so you're seeking connection with people. You're seeking to numb the pain that you're feeling. And alcohol and drugs do that fucking brilliantly.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, until they don't.
Yeah, exactly. So like for me, cocaine didn't come along until a bit later actually. When the booze stops working, right?
Yeah.
You know, or you want something else more, and it always ends to like all these yets. We speak about them in recovery all the time. You know, I haven't done heroin yet. I swear blind I would never touch it.
Yeah.
But who's to say, had I not carried on with my cycle of booze or coke, that wouldn't have came in the future because all those yets about coke happened, and I swore blind I would never touch it.
Yeah.
You know,
I broke every other promise to myself. What did a normal day look like for you at the very worst of it? Because I mean, I've got some pictures here, which are fucking hard to see.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, do you want to just talk us through these really quickly? Are these different times?
Yeah, they're different times. You know, when I took those photos and I sent them to my husband or my friends, which is weird, right? Why would I do that? And I'd be like, oh, I've hardly had any sleep. And
You're unrecognisable.
You're unrecognisable. And I'd be like, oh, I've woke up with something in my eye, or the dog's hairs in my eye, or whatever it might be, any excuse. In reality, actually, that's because I've had no sleep. I have done an all-nighter yet again. I've lied about how much I've drank. I have been crying because then you get emotional and then you text people you're not supposed to text and it's just that horrible cycle.
Yeah.
That's why I look like that.
Yeah.
But in my head, it's something else.
Yeah.
Because you're telling yourself that lie, that it's not the drink and drugs. That's helping me. It's got to be something else.
Yeah.
And so when you feed yourself that lie, you're offering that information to other people without them asking what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
So my husband hasn't gone to work and go, oh, how's your face today?
Yeah.
I've offered that information because I'm already making excuses for my actions.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you want to preempt them calling you out on your behaviour.
Yeah, absolutely mental when I'm about. Like when those flashes come up on, I don't know, Facebook or my phone when you look at memories, and they still do now, you know, like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
Or what the fuck was other people thinking?
Yeah.
Like, and my husband's like, sometimes he looks back with me and he's like, I didn't see it. Like that, yes. But on a normal day where I'd be bloated, really obviously bloated or swollen, or, you can see your veins, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I didn't see it like that until we now look back, because that was your everyday to me.
Right. Yeah. So it became the norm.
Yeah.
I think I read something that it was like, he thought it was normal for you to just drink a bottle of wine at night time.
Yeah.
Because that's what you told him you were doing.
Mm-hmm. But in reality, there was so much more.
There was so much more. It's like Emma kept a diary towards the end of my drinking of what she saw me drink.
Right.
And like, he drank this today, he told me he wasn't going to drink, but he drank this, and he drank this, and now he's drinking this. And I read this, right? I didn't ever know this existed for like 8 years or something. And I read this diary. I was like, this is a quarter of what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, really, like I was so good at hiding it.
Yeah.
What I thought I was.
Yeah.
I was so good at hiding it. Like, I had routines, I had things put into place, so I'd never be without a drink. Yeah. Because I couldn't be.
Yeah, same. Exactly the same. I would get Amazon bottles of vodka delivered, make sure they were, even pay extra so that they were delivered like at a certain point in the day when I know Hugh was away. I would associate with different friend groups. Yeah. I would get alcohol after school drop off. At different places, make sure that the mums at school didn't see me every day. And again, with the excuses, I mean, what idiots are we, right? I used to walk into the off license and say, oh, it's my friend's birthday again.
Yeah. Seriously.
They don't care.
They don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit.
They just want you to buy the shit.
Yeah. The amount of information of lies that I'd offer somebody to buy a drink, they do not give a shit anyway. And I'm just like, for me,
there was an off license not too far from my house, but then there was 3 a little bit further down. So I'd go to the 3 because then I could buy from 3 different places. And I know how much I was buying per day.
Totally get that. 100%.
I heard that you used to hide vodka in water bottles.
Yeah.
That's quite we can hide from a lot of our behaviour, right? But when you think about that behaviour, that's alcoholic behaviour, right? Did you know what you were doing at the time? And can you look back at it and go, I knew I was an alcoholic then? Or could I still rationalise that in my head?
I could still rationalise it. I think, totally. Yeah. I mean, I would have a vodka in, I'd have 2 bottles of sparkling water, 1 sparkling water and 1 pretty much neat vodka with a little bit of sparkling water. Yeah. And people knew. And they were telling Hugh, and I would swear blind that it was just the sparkling water. And I'd be like, here, have some. But like, my manager knew that I had it in my bag. And she did call me out, but I just didn't care. I'd convinced myself that other people drank like me, that it was normal. It wasn't until, I think, 2 years prior to me getting help when Hugh staged an intervention and had somebody in the house that wanted to take me off to rehab that day, and my manager, that I realised that I hadn't, like, they weren't fooled anymore. Yeah. I honestly thought that they had no idea and I was getting away with it. And that made me, well, first of all, I convinced them not to send me away and that I'd get better. And I'm sure Emma is the same. Like, you don't want your loved one to have to go to rehab.
Yeah.
You don't want them to leave the family and the kids. You
want them to be able to say, I'll do this.
Yeah, and that's what Hugh wanted and what he wanted to hear. And so I told him that. Knowing I had absolutely no inclination to do so. Yeah. So what happened after that, for those 2 years, that's when I got more vindictive and hid it more. And I suppose my relying on cocaine was a lot more then as well. Yeah. Because I found that with that, I didn't appear as drunk.
I just call it sharpener. Yeah. It's like either without it, towards the end of my drinking, without it, I'd be pissed all the time. Yeah. And but with it, I could kind of get away with it for longer.
Yeah, definitely. I convinced myself it was just alcohol, when in fact it wasn't. It was obviously both. But I remember when I first went to rehab, and I could just about say, hi, I'm Michelle, I'm an alcoholic. And at no point in rehab was I ever going to mention I did cocaine at any point, until they found it in my blood, in my blood when they first come. They take all your bloods and everything, and then you sign it to say that they can tell your family what they found. And where at that point you just literally want to live and not die, right? Yeah, absolutely. So you're signing everything away, and then they rang, obviously, Hugh, my next of kin, and said that we found quite a bit of cocaine in her blood and in her system, and then it was game over, and then I had to admit it. And
did he know about any cocaine use?
He did.
Yeah.
But again, when he, not at all compared to what I was doing, but when he would ask me, I was very good at blaming friends because I always had people around. So it would be like I'd always be very social. I'm still quite sociable, not as much as I was, but I'd always have people around the house with their kids and people who were like me, and so it was easy to blame them because he knew that they might have done it. So obviously I had to make lots of amends since then, but I managed to. But it wasn't a lot that he thought, obviously, and we're just good at lying, convincing ourselves and other people because, at some point before I went to rehab, like I honestly wanted to get better. I was admitted to hospital. I had onset of cirrhosis of the liver and my body was shutting down. My pancreas wouldn't work anymore. So I had to take enzymes I still have to do. And it was like, I knew, like they said, you're dying. And I couldn't stop drinking. And I really wanted to at that point. Not stop drinking, limit my drink. And so then when they offer at the hospital that, okay, maybe reduce what you're drinking and not quit, for me as an alcoholic, that's just a get out of jail free card.
Exactly.
That just means drink. Limit, I don't know what the word limit is. I can't do that.
But to everyone else, I'm limiting.
Totally.
But I can still drink. Great.
Absolutely. So I just didn't get better. And until it just got to a point where, I say that wasn't my worst. The point where I went into rehab, it wasn't my worst. It was just one of many. But it was just the right time.
Because obviously you had that intervention, right? And you managed to talk your way out of it, which is a fucking amazing alcoholic thing to do. So you have that, you managed to get through that episode, right? And then you just carry on as behaviour as it was before. So what was it that changed? What made you go, because obviously you then went to hospital, you had all that happen, and you're like still drinking.
Still drinking,
so
more
What was the turning point?
At that moment, like I was waking up, couldn't, if I went to bed, that is, and it was just neat vodka straight away. I remember being sick most days, and it was blood, and I remember like literally getting on my hands and knees and praying to God, and I'm not religious, like just like fucking help me. Like I cannot do this anymore, and I like that fills me with that lump in my throat because I remember the desperation. And like pure desperation of just fucking help me, please. Like I can't do it. Or just don't let me wake up. Like it's that I cannot do this anymore. And it still makes me feel really sick thinking about it because that was my honest thought. Like just don't wake me up. Or just don't wake me up. I couldn't see any way out. I couldn't bring myself to kill myself. But at that moment, I didn't want to live in that pain. And it was just like constantly like that for months. And then I arranged to have a party with Katie Price at our friend's house. Carry on the party wherever I could be out of self, out of house, somewhere else that somebody done what I did. That's where I would try and be. Like I remember driving there and, not that I was drinking on the drive, but I would have been totally over the limit. It's how dangerous the situations that we put ourselves in. We just don't even think. And when I got there, she was sober and she wasn't drinking. I was like, what the fuck? I've got
night ruined.
How dare you? And she came at me with like this binder from the Priory and she asked me these questions. Do you feel like this? And I'm like, what? What are you on about? Like, what are you doing?
God, wow.
And I was like, yes. And she's like, you need to go into rehab. I'm like, no, I'm not going to rehab. Hugh tried it a couple of years ago. I'm not doing it. And then she just talked to me a little bit more. She went outside. She talked to Hugh, and I'm literally in my friend's bedroom, and I'm down in vodka, and I don't quite know what's happening outside of the door. And I just remember thinking, she's sober, and how did she do it? And that tiny little bit of thought of what did you do? That was it. That was enough for me to say, I think I need help. Like being presented with somebody who's like me, who's now sober. That was the change. Unfortunately, it didn't matter how much my husband told me, or my kids begged me not to drink, or my friends were there because they weren't like me.
Yeah.
Because Hugh doesn't drink, he's never tasted alcohol before. So how can he know what it's like? And so when all of your loved ones and your people around you are telling you what you're doing, you don't want to hear it, you can't hear it. And you're like, well, you're not like me.
Yeah.
But when you're with somebody who's exactly like you, who's now not drinking, you ask, what have you done differently?
Yeah.
And it was then 48 hours later, I was in the Priory.
Wow. I mean, what a fucking... from driving there, expecting one thing. Expecting
another
what
party.
you wanted.
Yeah.
Right, to carry on.
Yeah.
To being faced with that. Right, to I mean, what a kind of like, there's that saying, is it odd or is it God or whatever, but like, it's like, that was such a great decision to go to that house. Right?
Yeah. And Kate to show up, because like, she's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Not showing up whenever we've made arrangements in the past. And like, because obviously like there's carnage there. So we were all a nightmare. But was like, showed up, was there. And
with a binder. Fucking hell, asking you questions you didn't want to have to answer.
I know, right?
But there's something in that, right? It's like, so I had to do the same thing. I tried to get clean so many times, right? And what it took was for me to meet somebody else who was like me, that had something that I wanted.
That's it.
And that's what the change was.
Yeah.
I was like, because I tried to change my wife, tried to change my kids, tried to change for everything, and I couldn't. And then I'm exactly like you. I met somebody who had been down this road and they got something. And I was like, well, if it worked for you, it could work for me.
That's exactly
and that's
it.
all I needed,
Yeah, be faced with somebody who knows a little bit more than what you do. And that's what I took from that.
Yeah.
And then obviously I went to rehab, and I was like, I was a bit of a swat in rehab, Matt. I was like the head of the group.
Right.
Like I got everybody up and then read the thought for today. You know the thought for the day.
Throw yourself into it.
I loved it. And then you get out and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Real life.
Wow. I remember coming home, and whilst obviously Hugh was happy to see me, he had questions that he deserved to know, because he didn't know everything. And the kids were just, like, I remember for at least a year and a half, were so frightened every time I left the house that I wasn't going to come back, because that's how I left. I left and I didn't come home. Trying to reassure people that you're not going to do it. It's because you're actually trying to convince yourself, because you're scared of your own shadow at that point, right? Because this is where I drank and used. Like the same people are outside the house waiting for me, not theoretically, but like actually, theoretically waiting for me outside. The same dealers, the same friends, they're all there.
Yeah.
And so how easy it is just to fall off the wagon and do that.
We teamed up again with Randox Health on the mend, and they've just launched something new called the RandChip Insight 360 test, and I've actually booked in to do it. Look, I read something the other day that really stuck with me. It said that most long-term health issues don't actually start with symptoms. They build up quietly without knowing. That's why this caught my attention. This is different to a basic health test. It looks at over 200 data points and monitors hundreds of health risks across things like cardiovascular, metabolic, and general health markers, so you can actually see what's going on beneath the surface. What I like is that it's real personalized insights that all are explained in a way that will actually make sense, not just generic advice. And it's not a one and done thing either. You can come back, retest, track your results over time, and start to understand what's changing and what you might want to take action about. For me, I love it as I'm being proactive about my own health. If you want to check it out, head to the Randox Health website and look up the RandChip Insight 360 test. You can get 10% off discount using the code OTM10, along with getting £250 cash back if you refer a friend.
I mean, touch wood, I didn't, obviously.
Yeah.
And so relapse hasn't been part of my story. But it was painful.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've known pain like it. Like, I'd say it was even worse towards the end of using and drinking. That pain was the first couple of weeks of being back home in reality without it.
Yeah.
And so I completely understand relapsing.
Yeah.
And why people have. And it's hard. That's really difficult.
And I find like what you said quite interesting about like people being worried when you left the house, right? Because I think for someone in recovery, like it's such a big step, right? It's like I am living my life without something I've relied on my entire life. I need you to fucking big me up.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm doing something unbelievable. But they are dealing with so much mistrust and so much kind of negativity and like waiting for they're so pleased that you're doing it, but at the same time they're just waiting for you to fuck everything up again.
Yeah, totally.
Which is what I experienced. And understandably, you know, but at the time I'm filled with like, well, I'm great, support me.
Yeah.
You know, like, please, you know, it's such a weird thing.
Because also in rehab, they're very good at making you feel like, you know, your loved one's got to support you in this journey. And then you don't really think about, oh my God, like what they're going through.
What I've put them through for fucking years.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's still, like I say, there's still moments that flash up on my phone and stuff that fills me with absolute dread, anxiety, and a fear of what I actually did and how I made them feel. Now, obviously, it's been 5 years now and the kids have grown up and they don't really remember the carnage as such. But
how old are your kids?
AJ's 12 and Faith is 14.
Right, yeah. I thought you had the same age.
Similar, yeah.
I mean, do they know about that part of your life now?
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you talk in the media, they're going to get it on their phone. So they're both very well aware.
Yeah.
And I think for me, as soon as that, you know, like when people go to meetings, it's called an AA for a reason, anonymous.
Yeah.
Well, we got fuck all chance of being anonymous, right?
Yeah.
Really. And that was taken away before I even left the Priory.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, people knew I was going in the Priory before I knew it was booked. Like that's how it spread.
Yeah.
And so the choice of being anonymous in this journey was taken away from the get-go.
Yeah.
And that's difficult. So it was very much already out there. So the kids would have to know. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
How can you shield that from them when it's out there and mums at school talk and they talk to their kids and the kids...
Also, something quite powerful about owning your own narrative, right? Because, I mean, from everything you've told me, you spent so long with other people dictating your narrative, right? About what they think of you, what you're like, what you do, what you look like, all this kind of stuff. It's like there's some power in going, right, this is actually what's going on and this is what I'm doing about it. That's quite powerful.
Yeah.
I remember, we were saying this before we started, but I watched that video. I remember vividly because you lived near me, right? And I remember seeing a video of you talking about it just coming out. And I was like, that is such a fucking brave thing to do. Like to kind of like announce, this is what's happened, this is where I am.
Yeah.
This is what's going on.
Thanks.
And I thought that was so fucking powerful and brave because a lot, I've battled with that, right, for years, like this anonymity thing. Because I'm like, I've got no anonymity. People know I'm a fucking wreckhead. You know, but it's been plastered in the papers for years. You know, people know that I've been to rehab many, many times because I perhaps went outside when I left. You know, I'm like, it's not like I can hide from it or like go, I don't talk about that. You know,
it's
so I'm
so
like,
hard.
It's so hard.
It really is because you talk about it too much, then you're doing a disservice to AA as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't talk about it, people want to know more, and then people also ask for help. I think for me, I was kind of in an unfortunate situation where somebody was going to sell a story.
Yeah.
Before I came out of rehab, and I had no intention of really telling anybody about the coke, at all. I don't know why. I just didn't want people to know.
I get it, man. I get it.
Sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
And then this so-called friend selling a story at the Sun or whatever it was, and about how I did it at hers. I mean, incriminating herself in the meantime. I don't know why she thought she could do it.
Yeah.
And so they had me over a barrel. It was either my story or hers.
Yeah.
So I took whatever power I could back and did it.
Absolutely, yeah. Too right. You know, fucking hell, man, that's so shit, isn't it? You know, and especially at that point.
Yeah.
You know, I find that so...
People are shitbags sometimes,
shitbags,
aren't they?
They really are,
like,
man.
How dare they?
You know, Yeah, man.
Whatever.
It's like, people, places and things, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, right.
I mean,
it's just madness.
It's just madness, and the thing is, one thing I do love about recovery, right, is that like I'm learning. I mean, sometimes I have to learn this lesson again and again and again, but it's like I can only control what I can control, right? And I have to relinquish that power sometimes on the daily, right? And then sometimes I have to learn that lesson again.
Oh, yeah.
And like in this kind of world that we live in, I imagine we have to learn that
all the time.
All the time, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, 5 years in now, right? I mean, first of all, how are you?
I'm really good.
Because you walked in today, I was like, this is a fucking beaming hope of recovery.
Right? Oh, thank you. And same back at you, right?
I mean, this is not the same person that's sitting here. I mean, it's quite fucking remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people that listen to this show that are really struggling or are in that kind of dark place, right?
Yeah.
And they, and just like you, they're like, I don't think I can ever change.
Yeah.
And
I believed that wholeheartedly. That was it. I thought I was the only one. I thought nobody else drank like me. I was the only person in the world that felt like this, and I couldn't say it out loud because I was so embarrassed about being found out about what I was, and that there was no help. And how wrong was I?
Yeah.
All it took was, admitting I needed help, and you don't have to go to rehab.
Yeah.
I have many sponsees that I take through the work that haven't gone to rehab, and they just show up, they do the meetings, they do the work. When I'm talking about the work, I mean the steps.
Yeah.
And the whole beauty about the steps for me is like, it's something that I think anybody could do, no matter, you don't have to be an alcoholic to do the steps.
Yeah.
I spoke to Hugh about this many times. It's literally about identifying places in yourself and your life where you want to make a change because it's unhealthy for you.
Yeah.
A lot of that, like changing friendship groups and saying no to things.
Yeah.
God, I never said no.
No, neither did I. I was
said
really
yes
bad
to
at it.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, I still struggle with that a little bit now. I'm getting better at it, but I still struggle with it. I mean, it's like I just think about the person watching, right? Is kind of hearing this, and especially for loved ones of that person. We hear a lot from loved ones of the addict on this show, which is always really hard because I feel like the addict I can speak to, right? Like I know you, and I know that aspect of you, and I feel like I can speak to that. But for a loved one, I find that so challenging.
I understand.
And it's just like, what can they do? Like, what could Hugh have done? What could Emma have done? Differently. And I don't know if they could have done anything.
I don't think they could have done anything differently.
It's really hard.
They stuck by us.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. I know some people say, like, Hugh got advice from my mates and they said, you need to leave her, shock her, leave her.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly think had he done that, I might not be here today.
Yeah.
I definitely would have reacted differently to what they think I would have done.
Yeah.
And so I suppose the only advice that I can give is what Hugh done, was just wait until I was ready and believed I was in there somewhere. And he was there for the kids ultimately when I couldn't be. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're 5 years right now, and I know relapse hasn't been a part of your story. Like, do you fear it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I do.
Yeah. Not to the point where I can't be out in social situations or go for lunch with a friend that has a glass of wine. Like, not to that extent anymore.
Yeah.
But believe me, it took some time to get used to that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight, and I didn't want to challenge myself on that aspect.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I didn't fear it, I think I'd be in a danger zone.
Yeah.
Because then if I didn't fear it and I thought that it wasn't going to be an issue, then I might be tempted.
I'd 100% do it.
Yeah, 100%. Because
Yeah,
I love drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved
If I
it.
could drink like a normal person,
Yeah.
I fucking would.
Absolutely.
But I can't.
Yeah. You know what? People are so funny in recovery. A lot of people won't say that. But let's be honest. If I could drink like a normal person and have a really nice pale glass of rosé wine at night with my meal, I would. I'd be all over that.
Yeah, great.
But I can't.
Yeah.
And as long as I know that, by keeping some kind of recovery up, whether it's a meeting or sponsoring or talking to similar folk, I'm all right.
And also, I tested it quite a few times.
Yeah,
I tried.
doesn't work.
I tried. Doesn't work.
Yeah,
Didn't
you
work
tested
again,
it for me. Thanks,
exactly.
Matt.
I tested it. Doesn't fucking work. I'm so pleased you came on, right? Because I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
Like, I really am, because you're fucking really smashing it, babe, and I'm so proud of you. You got Snow White at Christmas, right?
Yeah, I'm up in Whitley Bay.
Yes.
I'm actually playing Snow White.
Oh, right,
What the
nice.
fuck? Sorry, I shouldn't
Amazing.
swear then do
You
fan
can swear whatever you want.
I'm
Yeah.
going to be a 47-year-old Snow White, babe.
Snow White, come
How
on.
has that
Amazing.
happened?
I mean, and
That
getting
never
to play
happens.
someone who lives happily ever after.
Yeah,
Amazing, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And me and the girls from Liberty X have got loads of festivals, which is mad.
great,
After all
nice.
this time, we still gig.
Yeah, man.
I'm
What a blessing.
literally still be gigging until they push me off.
Absolutely, yeah.
What about you boys? You got more planned?
We toured the end of last year.
Yes.
And we got to write a new album, which is our next goal.
Amazing.
Yeah, so me and James are going away in a couple of weeks.
I'm proud of you too.
Oh, thank you very
Amazing,
much.
right? Look at us, eh? Still smashing it.
Come on, recovery. We do a section on the show called Music to Men By.
Okay.
Right, so we kind of, I'm going to ask you for 2 songs. One song that connects to your inner child.
Definitely making your mind up.
Yeah.
Books Fizz. Yeah, being a child, we watched Eurovision Song Contest every year. I sat there with my little notepad, me and my mum, we would score all the entries.
When they pulled the skirts.
Yeah,
off, right,
and that memory was my changing moment in my head of that's what I want to do. I want to be in a pop band.
Yeah.
I want to be in a mixed pop band with girls and boys, and I want to take my skirt off.
Amazing, love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Great, fucking amazing. And one song that reminds you of your present self or feels something about your present self.
I can't remember the name of the song, but I'm going to say the recent Taylor Swift song from Toy Story. The reason I picked that is because me and the kids went to the premiere of Toy Story, and that's at the end credits. And Faith is a massive Taylor Swift fan. And my current present self is my kids.
Yeah.
So I am here for my children.
Yeah.
Ultimately. And to see them grow and prosper. And so whatever Faith likes, I like. And that song,
love that.
and I don't know what it is about that song, but it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And the meaning behind it and the fact that we got to watch, Toy Story together. And it was, I felt like they were just kids again, and not 14-year-olds.
Nice.
And so that is definitely, I think that really encapsulates how I feel at the moment.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right, this is going to be a weird one.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited about this. Sober, never have I ever.
Amazing.
So we're not drinking, so we're just going to...
Got some cold coffee.
We got some cold coffee. That's what we'll do. Right, okay, so never have I ever.
Right.
You ready?
Okay.
Okay, first one. Never have I ever thought the hard part was done.
I have drank my brain cells away.
I mean, I don't really
Help me
understand
out.
what I'm supposed to answer to this. I have thought the hard part was done, but I've been wrong.
Right.
Many, many times.
Yes.
So I thought quitting drinking was the hard part.
Yes.
I thought once I quit drinking, everything will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I picked up cocaine 8 years
Yes.
later. And then I had to fucking put that down. I thought once I finished doing cocaine,
Yeah.
the hard part will be done.
Yeah.
And then life smacks you in the face.
Yeah, sure.
And you got to fucking do it.
I think I
feeling
relate
sober.
to your answer. I'm the same as that, definitely.
Yeah.
Like I thought, right, I've gone to rehab, it's all done, and then you
Yeah.
come out and you're like, no.
Oh, no, now it's
Now
life.
it's hot.
Now it's
Yeah,
life
yeah,
without
yeah.
a fucking crutch.
Yeah.
So I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Never have I ever looked back and not recognised the person I used to be. Oh, yeah. I mean, looking back at like that particular photo at the top there, I don't recognise myself at all. And there's many situations like in old videos
Yeah.
that I'm talking and slurring and saying the things that I am. I'm like, that wasn't me. But it was. But yeah, I don't recognise that person.
There's a couple that haunt me. There's a couple of videos and moments in the past that I'll see every now and again. And I don't know why I keep seeing them. Like people repost them or something to me.
Right.
I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't recognise that bloke.
Yeah.
And so I don't, but then I know it was me. Because it is me.
Yeah.
And he's in there somewhere. He's just fucking all over the place.
Yeah, it's when you don't remember it happening.
Oh, there's so much of that.
Yeah.
So much of that. Never have I ever forgotten my own lyrics.
Always.
Always.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
luckily, Charlie's worse than me.
Yeah.
Charlie never remembers the fucking words. to
Really?
anything. Like, I mean, if he could, he'd have a fucking auto cue.
Yeah.
I mean, we used it for one tour once, and I was like, you got to take it away because you spend the whole gig looking down like this.
I love that.
So, but yeah, I've forgotten them all the time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Recently, because we did the Lidl advert, just a
Right.
Lidl.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the lyrics were changed for the Lidl advert. That now, since then, every gig, when I do the middle eight of Just a Little,
Yeah.
I do the Lidl lyrics. and I can't stop. And you know when you're going into that bit, and you go, don't do it, you do it, and then you're literally like, little, and you're like, fuck, no. Again.
That's so great. You should be sponsored for life.
Always,
absolutely sponsored for life.
Never have I ever stolen a prop from a stage show. Ooh, I mean, I steal towels regularly.
Do you really?
Still, what's on the rider?
Yeah, that's fine.
So I figure what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, I shouldn't say this because I might get kicked out, but I stole one from Soho House once.
What, a towel?
A towel. It's fucking the best towel I've got.
Is it?
Yeah, I stole it while I was on tour.
Yeah.
And I needed a towel in my dressing room.
Yeah.
So I stole one of the towels, and it's the best towel ever.
Isn't that mad? Like we can pay for a
I could pay
towel.
a towel.
I'm not that skint to not pay for a towel.
Like,
but there's something about a free towel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
Exactly. Prop from a show. Have I ever stolen a prop from a show? No, I tried to. I was just in cabaret. And I tried to steal. They've got these in the song "Money." I have these gloves with like claws on them, and they're fucking awesome.
Oh, I bet.
And I was like, but they were measured to my fingers.
Right.
I'm like,
so who's going to use them?
Who's going to use them? But they wouldn't let me keep them.
That's crazy.
And then once I'd finished getting changed, there was loads of people in there on the last night. They'd cleared my dressing room out. Sharpish,
really?
So I couldn't fucking steal anything. Yeah, I was gutted.
Literally out.
They were like, they knew I was a thieving git. They were like, have you seen your fucking Soho House towel? Last one.
Okay.
Here we are. Never have I ever pretended not to recognise somebody famous. I don't know about you, right? But there's something that I've witnessed, which is called the famous person nod. Right?
Okay.
Which is like, you don't know them, they don't know you, but you're both kind of known in some ways. You're just like, right? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it needs to be.
The worst is when I nod and they... That's happened a lot.
Hello.
And they're like, whatever.
No.
You had, is it Ian Lee?
Yes,
Didn't you? Oh my God, he is so funny.
Yeah, he's
in the
great.
he was horrible to us.
Oh,
in the past.
no, really?
And then I saw him at a meeting.
Yeah.
And I was sharing at a meeting and he came up, gave me the biggest hug. And
Did he?
was so nice.
Man.
But he would have been a blanker before.
He would have been a blanker.
I would have been like that. No.
He's a right blanker.
Yeah. I hate it when people come up to you and they assume you know them because they recognise you.
Yeah.
And they're convinced.
Yeah.
And you have no idea who this person is.
Also,
ever.
Or they what I hate the most is you're like they don't know and they want you to explain who you are.
Yeah.
So like, hello, I'm Matt from Busted. Do you know, what do you want me to say? It's so awkward. I am me.
You're so
Who are you?
correct.
You know, it's so weird. It's like
you're so right.
Oh, you want me to explain who I am because you don't know? Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're famous.
Yeah. Who are you?
What do I say
what does it
here?
fucking
'Cause
matter?
Either way, I'm going to sound like a dickhead.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I'm either going to say no and then I'm lying.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go, yes, actually I am.
Yes, exactly. You may know me from such works as, you know.
I know.
Fucking hell.
Mad.
What a mad life.
Brilliant. That was great.
That was amazing.
I
Thank you
don't
very
know
much.
if we
Thank
fully
you.
understood the
But
questions.
I think we did okay.
We did
did
good.
okay.
Yeah.
There we go. We should have been pissed. It would have been easier.
I don't think we need alcohol, Matt. I think we're just mad.
I think we do. I think we're okay. We're doing all right. Michelle, it has been so amazing to have you on. Thank you so much for coming on. I love it.
Thank you, Matt.
If you or anyone you know is struggling, we've got some really trusted resources in the show notes. Please check them out. If you enjoyed this episode, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We get back to as many as we can, and we appreciate you listening. All the best. See you soon.